from Griffin Art, deep in the heart of West Texas. It has been almost 2 months since I have recorded a video. And the reasons are varied, and the biggest one is that my children are out of school. So we're spending more time together, and there's less time for me to be down here in my studio area, which is okay. I love spending time with them. They are just a hoot. They crack me up so much. They're also fairly young, almost 6 and 4, and so they're a handful. And they're in that phase of learning to get along with each other, and it's pretty exhausting. So that takes up a lot of time. I've also been in a really large creative rut. I have had 2 or 3 things pop up here and there that were inspiring and fun for me to do. But I also I'm a very, very harsh self-critic. And so I don't always feel as if my work is presentable. And sometimes I feel like I have to wait until I know what I'm doing before I post about it or post pictures of it, which is kind of silly when you think about it. You just do it. That's what Andy Warhol says. Don't worry about what everybody thinks. Just keep doing it. And speaking of Andy Warhol, he has always been a big favorite of mine. I wish I had had the opportunity to meet him. Aside from any, weird social peccadillos that he may have had, he was a weird guy. I heavily enjoy his silk screens and his screen printing, and I really wanted to figure out if there was a way that I could make my jelly plate behave like a silk screen and do it in a monoprint style instead of having 1,800 different screens for laying each color, because that's how he would do that. If you look at his silk screens of Marilyn Monroe or Liz Taylor, or I think he's got one of Barbie and Chairman Mao, and the soup cans are silk screens, screen prints. What he would do is he would have a screen for each color, and he would lay down one color and then move to a separate screen and lay the second color. And that requires photo emulsion and burning screens and a bunch of different things for supplies that I don't have, which would be super fun to have and try out at some point, and I may still at some point. I wanted to see if I could make my trusty jelly plate behave in that way, and lo and behold, GelliArts had a video on their YouTube channel, which I'll link to that video. I shared it in the crafters community, but I'll share a link to it here, of how to make pop art with your jelly plate. It is a little bit labor intensive. Do I have one down here? My Calvin and Hobbes print should be down here. It's over in my stack. I slept wrong on my neck. That's why I'm like this. Anyway, essentially what you do is have 5 or 6 copies of a photo, and you're going to want to create a mask for each color that you lay down on the jelly plate. And maybe I'll do a process video of this. You can see really well on GelliArts video the process of it. I have done a couple of things different than what they did in their video, and I have kind of rearranged in here. You can see the big table's not behind me anymore. That's my daughter's art desk, which I was using to hold my brayer and stuff. I've got my big table is over here now. I moved it, which I can easily turn my computer like this so that you have a view of whatever it is I would be working on. It's not an overhead view. I do have a setup for an overhead view. I just haven't done it yet. Creative rut. I have children. Time gets away from you. We've traveled a little bit. Ah! And see, I lost my light when I did that. Hold on. Stand by, please. Woo! It's bright and I'm shiny. Is that gonna Come on now. I don't have time for this. Come on. I'll edit this out. You don't have to watch me sit here and adjust my... Oh, gosh. If I sit back here, I can deal with it right there. Wow. Woo, I'm shiny. And I'm a little... Ooh, got a little color from the sun. We've been swimming a lot. Anyway, so I thought that that was really awesome about the jelly plate. And I've been using the student size jelly plate, the 5x5 square jelly plate, and I never miss a chance to pimp my friend Heather over at the Craft Shack has been having a clearance sale. She's clearing out all her inventory, and I have some jelly plates on the way to me, and I'm very excited about that. Let's talk products for a minute. I have shopped a little, not a ton, but a little, because I'm trying to be normal about it. You can see all the stuff I have, my rolling carts over here now. You can see all my junk. I have too much. I did invest in some more paint. And I say invest. Invest to the tune of about $1.50 a bottle. I really like DecoArt. I really like their products. I really like their fine art paint. Remember, it's the paint with the gold cap. So, I've gotten several new colors. I picked up a red. I was out of red. I picked up an orange flame. And yes, I am aware that I could buy primary colors and mix all of these myself. Why would I do that when they've already done it for me? And I like the way these work, especially on the jelly plate. As far as staying open long enough to do what you want to do, they generally will do okay. I do use a retarder. I use Golden's retarder, and I have found that if you stay within the same product line, they work better. So if I use Golden retarder with golden paint, it kind of works a little bit better. This will work with the Americanas for the purpose of jelly plating. I wouldn't paint a huge canvas with it, and I wouldn't mix up tons and tons. I would only mix up what you're going to use. And when I mix, I don't generally use a cup or something that's concave, like a bin. I mix right on the palette paper. I mix here, and then I just plop it on the jelly plate and then brayer it out. It will work with those. It does work just fine also with the Liquitex Basics. Liquitex does make a retarder, which again, probably would be wonderful with these because they're all in the same line and meant to work together. This is what I had, and it works all right. Other colors I picked up. I picked up some Mars Black in the Liquitex Basics because I was out of black, or mostly out of that black. Generally, I use the Apple Barrel Black for art journaling and stenciling and stuff. Doesn't love the jelly plate so much. It dries super quickly, and my masks and stencils tear. Now, it works enough to get the print down. Don't use this if you're planning to save your paper masks and stencils on the jelly plate, unless they're really thick like cardstock. If you were going to cut a mask that you wanted to use over and over, I would use some sort of acetate, a transparency, a plastic file folder, something that is going to hold up a little bit more. But this is not wonderful on the jelly plate, but it's great for all my other projects. So I got the Mars Black. I also picked up some of the DecoArt Dazzling Metallics. These are lovely. I got Amethyst. I picked up Crystal Green. Green's my favorite color, and I have about 4 shimmery greens, but who doesn't need another one? I also picked up a red color. Is it over here? Come on now. I know I did. I know I got a red color in that shimmery. Well, so it goes. Sylvia, I know you feel me. The other shimmery colors I have that I use on the jelly plate and in my art projects are not new to me. And they're the PBO Dynas. I have a lime green, an orange, and a turquoise. See, blue. I think they call it blue-green. Anyway, I've gotten those recently. I got 2 new brayers. I picked up, and these are both the Artist Touch, the Hobby Lobby brand. because I didn't want to spend a whole bunch on it. These were $5 or $6 a piece. I got a soft one. It's a lot wider and very squishy. And I picked up a one that's really firm. It's over here. That's about the size of my old one from Ranger. This is a Ranger. And the one from Ranger has these two little knobs that are meant for when you're done, you can rest it like this. They get in my way a lot. These don't have that. Are they and see, the Ranger one's a little shorter. But this one is the Hobby Lobby brand, and it's been working fine. I may, in the future, invest in some of the real thin ones. Thin in the sense of not as wide as this, like maybe half that. I've seen those used, and they're cool. Other products. I went to IKEA. I had a trip to Dallas, and I went to IKEA, and which I love. Who doesn't love some Swedish junk that you have to put together yourself? This did not require assembly. This was in the cooking section. It's a nylon food brush for basting or whatever. This makes some really nice texture on a jelly plate. And it's a little, the tines on it are a little wider than a regular paintbrush. It was just cool, and I think it was $1. So that was fun. What else did I get from IKEA? Napkins. For all my napkin friends. I'm thinking of hosting a napkin swap. We've talked about it, and I know some friends at the Craft Shack have done it. I found these. Aren't those fun? They've got black on one side and then teal on the other. Those would be fun to collage. And these were also from IKEA, and they were both $1. The names at IKEA always crack me up. The names for their stuff. Medal. Inbujande. I don't even know. My cart is from IKEA. It's called a Raskog. It just cracks me up. One of their furniture lines, and this is the most fun to say, one of their furniture lines is the Magnarp. This cracks me up. Also from IKEA. Oh, is it over there? I have to show you because it's the coolest. And my kids may get more use out of it than me. Oh, it's over here. Stand by. This is where you have the fun music in between. Okay. Also from IKEA, this is like a large paper towel holder. Roller's not a word. This is like a large paper towel holder, and it sits long ways like this. And as you can see, I have not assembled it yet. But you put this big roll of paper on it. Isn't that cool? I thought it was, this paper may be totally cruddy. So what? I'll use it for under paper. I thought it was super fun. And so it's going to fit on there. And we can just roll off some paper. It was $6. And the paper, I think, was $4, maybe $5. I don't know. I thought that was a lot of fun. And the last thing that I bought at IKEA is down underneath here. Cue the music one more time. This is the Dignitet. I don't know, Dignitet. This is a cable and fasteners. I had one of these previously in a rent house that we lived in, had a really large front room. And so we divided the room in half to make a separate dining room and an office. And this was 6 or 7 years ago. I couldn't find it now that we've lived in this house for almost 7 years. So I purchased another one. Anyway, the cable and the little holders makes a line, basically. And you've got a bunch of, I've got the clippies are down there, and it's got little clippies. I'm going to use it to hold stencils. And it was $12. But I'm going to use it to clip up my stencils. Where I'm going to clip them is another story. I would ideally like it to be on the wall right here in front of me. That's going to be a problem if I do overhead camera setup. So I need to talk with my husband a little bit about that. That's my haul from IKEA. Projects. As I mentioned, I've been jelly plating like a mad lady. And I'm going to have to go and join the Jelly Platers Anonymous group, the subgroup from the Craft Shack. I'm going to grab those because they're over there behind me. Cue the music. Just a moment. Okay, here I am. I'm back. Okay, so the first one I'll show you is the Calvin and Hobbes, which probably most of you guys saw online, if it's even over here. It's not. Where is, oh, it's on the bottom. Here they are, Calvin and Hobbes from the Jelly Plate. GelliArts even gave this one a like over on Instagram, so that was cool. So I cut a layer for all of the black lines. That was a bear. Be careful of that. I had to do it twice because the first one was a mess. I cut a layer for the red, for the skin tone, for Calvin's hair, and for the orange and the pink. So I had 6 layers, 6 masks that I cut for this one. But it turned out really cool, and I love Calvin and Hobbes. I'm trying to talk my kids into being Calvin and Hobbes for Halloween, but they have no idea what it is. I got a package of deli paper from the local restaurant supply store here. It was about 11 bucks. I got a huge box of it, and I've done a bunch on deli paper, and a lot of it, oh, that one turned out cool, and it's got shimmer in it. Can you see the shimmer? A lot of it is I use the deli paper to pick up the ghost print or whatever extra is on my palette. This one turned out pretty good as well. It's got some of that shimmer in there. And these will be probably just general backgrounds or pieces that I can cut up and collage. This one will be pretty for fall. It's nice and shimmery. Anyway, that's the deli paper action. This is one that was just all scrap paint. And I couldn't manufacture this in my head. I couldn't work this out in my head. This was just what came up off the plate after I was done. And I think it's fantastic. Here's another junk one that turned out pretty fun. That's got some shimmer in it. This was a yellow tones that I really liked. It's got shimmer for summertime. And I think of them as sherbet colors. That's ugly, that's ugly, that's ugly, that's really ugly. And I'll show those in a minute. And some others I want to cut up. This one I really liked. GelliArts gave this one a like on Instagram as well. I was trying to not get the entire stencil on there, and you can see I got flubbed a little bit, but I didn't mind it. I think it looks all right. This is a stencil of my design that I cut out. And this is a Donna Downey numbers stencil. I did kind of the same thing over here, only my lotus was upside down. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it some meaning. This is a stencil that I cut myself, a mask that I cut myself, a cityscape, and you can see how off I got laying that next color, but I don't care. I'll use it for something. This was my very first try with the masked colors, and I was just doing a basic shape. I love this. I don't know what it will be or what I'll use it for, but I really like it. The lotus again. And this was supposed to be Kurt Vonnegut, but it didn't quite turn out right. That's okay. It was a practice on the pop art. Tip. This was junk pulls from yesterday. You can kind of see the feathers in there. And this one I love. This is a mask that I cut. Can you see the lady in there? This is a mask I cut from a magazine, which is a great idea. My friend Ramona told me about that this week when we had a mini crafting play date. But I really like her. She's not done. She'll be something cool. Anyway, and I've introduced my kids to the Jelly Plate. We had play date, the three of us, a couple of weeks ago, and they have repeatedly asked me to make jelly prints. And it's super fun for them. My son mostly likes to roll out the paint because he thinks that's great. And he said he doesn't say turquoise. How does he say it? Turquoise. Turquoise is now his favorite color. Here's one my daughter did on the student plate. She likes to draw with the end of the paintbrush on the little plate. This is a larger piece that I don't know what to do with. I feel like it needs more. And this also was a larger piece that I had posted a picture of. I don't know what to do with it. I'll think of something. This was a background I pulled yesterday that I really like. It's real shimmery. I'm really drawn to the blues and the oceany colors for some reason. I think I'm going to work on this morning. This might have a mask of Alice on it from Alice in Wonderland. So, I like Alice. Of course I do. Here's another one with a mask that silhouette that I cut from a magazine. I took her hair off because it looked ridiculous. It was some ridiculous thing with fruit and stuff. I don't know if I'll give her any. I might. But I really like her too. And that's about it. And that's all I've been doing lately is playing with my jelly plate. That's what I intend to do this morning, is play with my jelly plate. I did a bunch of small ones on the student plate. Oh, this one's really pretty. This is a really pretty background. I love it. I love it so much. I don't know what to do with it. Sylvia, this is the problem, right? You have all these great prints and then you don't want to mess with them. I don't know. Maybe I'll just make a book out of them. Here are the small ones. We'll flip through these quick. This was a junk pull. This one has flowers on it. I don't know if you can see them. I like it a lot. I like that a lot. I love this one. This was an accident ghost pull. A lot of people use this stencil, this mask. This is really ugly. Here are those flowers again. I like that. And the reason it's this small is because that's how big the mask is. I don't really know how to get this all over the large plate. Love this. Love that. This one's kind of the same. This one has a houndstooth pattern. And this is, I don't even know. So these will probably use more in collaging, and maybe, I was thinking of doing maybe a patchwork type thing. I don't know. We'll see. I'm at 22 minutes and I need to wrap this up. So that's it. I have not gone anywhere. I hope to record more. I hope to do some process. Maybe I'll get some masks cut out and show you how I'm using the jelly plate to do the pop art, which is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you can look it up yourself, but it's something for me to do. If you have people that are willing to invest in your life and are willing to say, keep going, please treasure them. Two very good friends of mine have reached out. One has said, let me mentor you. And the other has said, I'm behind you 100%. You are an artist. Keep going. And so when the world becomes too much and you have to take a breather, do it. But don't forget who you are. And don't forget that there are people behind you who are pushing you forward. And if I have the opportunity to be that person for you, I think that's great. Get out, do something, make something, and please, my friends, always remember to give love.